basically stormwater starts right here, and the project that you're gonna see at the Interfaith Greenway collects all the water from this parking lot and all the roofs of this huge building. The roof has like downspouts that are uncovered, and they're all channeled to these huge drains, and then the drains are going under the asphalt into the area that we're gonna see at the Interfaith Greenway. So what you're seeing here is a sample rain garden. It's part of the treatment plan that you're gonna be seeing all along the Interfaith Greenway. The reason this rain garden is here is basically collecting the water, the sheet flow that is coming from that huge parking lot, which is another congregation, the Baptist Church, and the grass. So the rain garden is trying to collect the water and sink it in here, and also clean the pollutants that are coming from the cars and from the air and from all the different dust that we've got. So this entire area was all full with invasive plants, like in English ivy and poison ivy, and there were a lot of shrubs that became trees that were very invasive, and you basically could not use this area because it was very dangerous. There were critters and snakes and everything was around here, so the congregation could not use the area. We cleaned it up, and we basically put here plants that are all native, and they're creating an entire new atmosphere and ecosystem. And also it's important to understand that we have the water is running under here, and we'll see where it goes afterwards. It's important to point that we are in a residential area, and there are neighbors that were concerned about water going into their yards. So we reused every single piece of dirt or cubic feet of dirt that was on that other side, and we created berms here so that we could raise the height of the plants that we were bringing in. And you can tell that there are different grades of plants, like taller plants that will cover the fence, and they will give screening, acoustic screening and visual screening to congregation from the residential area. And there's the lower area plants, and this was intended to be a shade garden, a showcase for native ferns, native clone, turtlehead plants, and there's other aquilegia. There's other plants that are native that are wonderful, and they can coexist together in a shade location like this one. So there is a huge pipe that it's running underground and you cannot see, but it comes, the outflow of that huge amount of water is coming to this concrete pipe or culvert, and it used to be flowing before we started the project in a straight line without any sort of filtration or slowing down or cleaning or anything. It was going in a straight line towards the Montgomery County sewer catch basin inlet that is shown over there. So here where I'm standing, it's exactly the boundary line between two different congregations, Beth Sholom congregation and St. James. And as you see, it's an imaginary line that you can't tell, but it made the two congregations come together and rethink the space and reutilize the space for their two nursery schools that are functioning here from Monday to Friday, all year long, summer camps, and then the congregations have people that come either Saturdays or Sundays to each one of the buildings, and they use this public space for leisure, for contact, and basically it's a showcase of our wonderful native plants that we've got in the Mid-Atlantic area. So there is two different places called patios, but underneath there is a huge dry well, and it's basically an excavation that collects the rainwater, and then once it stops raining, it evapotranspirates, or part of that water goes into the water table, but it's being used as a storytelling place for the preschool kids, and it's also used during services for, you know, the people that can't be at services. They can just hang out here. So there is one dry well, circular dry well here, and we're slowly going to see another one. The two main dry wells are being connected by these paths that you can see that are also, they were dug up and filled in with gravel, and they also absorb a lot of the water that we need to basically capture inside. But these pathways serve as exploration for the little ones, and also for big people to approach the plants and get to smell the plants, get to see the bees from like a short distance, and look at the beautiful butterflies, everything that's going on here that you can't tell if you're far away. So here's the second round dry well that was created, and it's always used as a place for meditation or for storytelling. Whoever wants to come here is invited. This is also open to the entire community, residential, like people, homeowners come here and just hang out here.
Hi, I'm Ann English. I'm the coordinator of the Rainscapes program for Montgomery County Department of Environmental Protection. What you've been walking through with Susie has been a great grant project that was funded through the Water Quality Protection Charge, and involved a lot of partners with the neighbor and the two congregations agreeing to share space to manage stormwater. We're the agency for the county that reports to the state on the conditions of our water quality through our MS4 permit system, which is stormwater that has a pollution load in it that we are charged with removing a certain percent. One of the great things about this project is you can see so many different types of things. You saw a rain garden, you saw a swale, you saw a dry well, you saw the social space and the native plants all being featured in this beautiful treatment train that is cleaning the water before it gets a chance to go into this outfall. It goes into this inlet, and then it'll go into a pipe system to a stream. But before it went into the stream, it had a chance to be cooled and cleaned and create beauty and a wonderful space for the congregations.
So we're standing here at St. James Episcopal Church, and there is this gorgeous rain garden and also conservation landscaping in between two buildings, the church and the parish hall. And this congregation was very much concerned with all the water coming from their parking lot long time ago and streaming down into this parking lot, and it created ice, and it was a threat for the safetyness of the pedestrians in the cars. So this rain garden was dug up a lot, I think more than 2 feet, like it was like to the maximum. We hit like the underground pipes, so that it collected a lot of water because the space was very limited, and there are some other conservation landscaping areas also that are connected, and so they're like thought to capture a bit of water before they hit the rain garden and before they go into the parking lot.
So this is a site that actually has 4 Rainscapes rebate projects. The first 3, the dry well, the rain garden, and the first conservation landscaping area, were done through the rebate program as a match to a separate outside grant that was through the CBT. This grant and rebate then ultimately covered the full cost. Later, the community decided they wanted to do another rebate project, and they did the conservation landscape below the front door to St. James. As Susie said, this was a very tight space, and one of the tightnesses is why there's a dry well on the other side of the sidewalk that you don't see, taking the downspout water off of that roof into a dry well before it is allowed to be brought over into the rain garden. It was an icing hazard. It's an older congregation, and this is, we believe, really helped with the safety. In addition to the beautiful plants you see behind me, if you were to walk around it, you would also see swamp milkweed and butterfly milkweed, which is monarch support, which has been in place now since 2011. So this garden has been supporting pollinators for a very long time and helping this congregation live out their values.
Well, we hope you've been inspired by seeing all the beautiful work that's been done here as a result of this collaboration between two congregations to care for God's sacred waters and prevent stormwater runoff, which we know is the #1 source of urban and suburban water pollution. And these projects are just some examples of what you can learn about working with IPC, Interfaith Partners for the Chesapeake, and come to one of our Faithful Green Team trainings to learn how your green team can be strengthened and built to take such actions as these, and learn more about getting funding and do what we can to restore God's creation.